As we continue with Act 5, Scene 1, let's have a quick recap what happened just before these dialogues. Prospero had released Alonso and his companions from their spell and speaks with them. He forgives Antonio but demands that Antonio return his kingdom. And Alonso tells Prospero of the missing Ferdinand. Prospero also tells Alonso that he too has lost a child in this last tempest, that is his own daughter. Alonso continues to be racked in grief, and then what happens? Prospero says, as great to me as late, and supportable to make the dear loss, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you, for I have lost my daughter. He says, yes, I have a great loss recently, and to make the loss more profound means more intense. Dear means more profound, intense. I have much less to comfort me. I don't have much to comfort me. You may have people around you, you have your kingdom, but I don't have much to comfort me for the great loss that I have been, and that is the loss of my own daughter. Alonso continues, a daughter, oh heavens, that they were living both in Naples, the king and queen there, that they were, I wish myself, and mudded in that oozy bed where my son lies. He says, oh daughter, oh God, I wish that they were both living in Naples as king and queen of the country. To make that happen, I would sacrifice my own life and lie in that muddy bed beneath the ocean. When did you lose your daughter? Prospero continues, in the last tempest, I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much admire that they devour their season and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth. Their words are natural breath. He says, in the recent storm I have lost, it seems to me that these lords are so amazed to see me that they are standing there with their mouths open. You know, everybody standing, Antonio, Sebastian, Francisco, and Adrian, everybody, and they're gaping at him. They're just amazed at seeing Prospero after so long. They have lost use of their reason. He continues to say, don't believe in their eyes, and they can't speak. They're unable to speak or even breathe. They can't believe what they are saying. But, continue please, but howsoever you have been jostled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very duke which was thrust forth of Milan. What does that mean? He means, but whatever has shocked you out of your senses, means you have come out of that spell and you are in your senses, and you know for certain that I am Prospero. I am the duke who was overthrown out of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you were racked was landed to be the Lord Aunt, and landed on this same island where you were shipwrecked and became the lord of it. Okay, continues. Not more yet of this, for it is a chronicle by day by day, not a relation for a breakfast, nor befitting this first meeting. He continues, he says, that's enough of this story, because it's a tale that should be told day after day, means it has to be told very intricately. Okay, it has to be told very intricately, day by day, what happened. It's not something you can describe over breakfast. You can just not sit and describe over a breakfast, acha, this happened, and that's how my story began, and that's how my story ended in this island. And it's not appropriate to discuss, and I don't think it is right to discuss everything at the first meeting itself. Okay, so everybody, what Prospero is assuming is that everybody looks at him in wonder, because they all want to know why I am standing here. Even after 12 years, they had all presumed him to be dead, and he says, I know that they are astonished, amazed at my presence here, and somehow, Alonso, you have come out of the astonishment. But to tell them, I just want to say them, I cannot narrate the story of my existence and survival in this island just by sitting in a breakfast table. It's not a short tale, it is a big tale which has to be said with day by day descriptions, and I don't think this is the right time. That is what he means. Okay. Then again to Alonso he says, welcome sir, this sells my coat. Here have I few attendants and subject, none abroad. Pray you look in. He says, welcome, welcome to my cell. This cell is my royal court. Means I am king of the island and this is the royal court. That's what the metaphor he has used. I have just a few servants here and none elsewhere in the island. Please take a long round. Just look here and there. My dukedom, continue please. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with with as good a thing. At least bring forth a wonder to content as much as my kingdom. He says, since you have returned my dukedom to me, I'll give to you something just as nice in return. And what is that just as nice in return? I'll show you a wonder that will please you as much as my dukedom pleases me. And what does he do? Prospero pulls back a curtain to reveal. What is revealed? Ferdinand and Miranda playing chess. Okay, so Alonso realizes that his son is alive and his happiness knew no bound. Okay, he continues. Okay, the question there would be, how does Prospero reveal Ferdinand's presence? That should be the first one. Okay, you will just write there. Let's continue. Miranda to Ferdinand, sweet lord, you play me false. You says you are cheating. This is not the way you should be playing. Sweet lord, you okay. Ferdinand says, no, my dearest love, I would not for the world. Now he takes the word cheating in a different way. Cheating in the game, no. Instead he says, no, I cannot cheat you in love as well. I would never do that. No, my dearest, I would never do that. Not for anything in the world. Miranda said, yes, for a score of kingdoms you would wrangle and I would call it fair play. She said, well, you should do everything you can do to win. Even if it was to gain just 20 kingdoms, I would say you were right to do it. But Miranda goes on, two lovers speaking in puns and metaphors, taunting at each other. And again, this kingdom and everything is quite viable in the game of chess. You are supposed to win over the queen and the kingdom in order to win. He says it is viable, you have to win the king and queen in order to win the game. So it's viable, you can do that. And Alonso says, wonders looking at the couple, and he says, if this prove a vision of the island, one dear son shall I twice lose. Write as an important dialogue, and please write twice lose, underline twice lose, I mean. If this is just another of the illusions, vision of the island, illusions produced by this island, then I lose my dear son twice. What does he mean? If this is again an illusion, the island has been showing illusions to me, and if this is also an illusion, then I conclude that I have lost my son twice. Lost once when he presumed that he was dead because of the tempest, and twice in the love of Miranda. Okay, twice. Why twice? Just write a question. Why does he say twice? Sebastian, a most high miracle. He says, incredible this is. Okay, Ferdinand, seeing Alonso, he kneels down and he says, though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause. Seeing Alonso and kneeling means he was also overwhelmed. He was so happy seeing his father back. And he says, though the seas threaten us sometimes, they are merciful because they let you survive. I was wrong to curse them. He was very happy to see his father back. Alonso, now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise and say how thou camest here. May all the blessings of a happy father surround you. Stand up and tell me how you ended up here. Oh, wonder! Miranda says, how many goodly creatures are there here? How beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it. Right, Miranda's reaction in seeing so many human beings at a time. Please write a question there. Miranda sees so many people there, first time in the island. Means as far as she remembers from the childhood memory, since then it was first time that she sees such group of people in the island, and he says, oh, it's wonderful, look how many beautiful creatures are there here. Mankind is so beautiful, beauteous as mankind is. Oh, splendid new world that has such people in it. She wonders about how beautiful everybody is, and mankind, human beings, wow. Prospero, it is new to thee, it is new to you. He says, it is new to you. Alonso continues talking to Ferdinand. He says, what is the maid with you, thou wast at play? You eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. He says, who is this young woman with whom you are playing? You can't have known her for more than 3 hours. Acquaintance means you must not have spent time more than 3 hours, because it's just 3 hours the shipwreck occurred and we are being strangled in the island. Okay. Then he continues and asks, is this the goddess that had severed us and brought us here together? He says, is this the goddess that separated us, severed us, separated us and then brought us back together? Ferdinand continues to praise Miranda. He says, sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence she is mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. He continues to say, sir, it means she is human, mortal, that is human, but my God's blessings, she is mine, she is mine. Immortal providence, God's blessing, she is mine. I chose her to be my wife when I couldn't ask my father for his advice. And in fact, no longer thought I had a father. I thought my father had died, and so I did not take your advice. Please continue. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown but never saw before. Renown means famous. Okay. Now, what does he mean in this line? He says she is a daughter of this famous Duke of Milan, about whom I had heard heard such good things, but had never seen before. Of whom I have received a second life, a second father. This lady makes him to me. He says, I have been given a second life for him, and marrying her makes him my second father. What is that second father? Father-in-law. Okay, write a question here, and it should be in not less than 3 to 4 points. How does Ferdinand remark? What does Ferdinand remark about Miranda and Prospero? Okay, to his father. Alonso continues, I am hers. If you are hers, then I am hers. But oh, how oddly will it sound that I must ask my children forgiveness. And that makes me her father too. He says, and if this is your father, means if you consider Prospero as your second father, then I am hers as well. I am her father as well, means father-in-law as well. And then how strange it is that I have to ask child to forgive me. I have to ask forgiveness for whatever I have done. Prospero, there, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrances with a heaviness that's gone. He says heaviness, his memories, sad memories. He says, please, sir, no more of that. Let's not weigh down our memories with a sadness that should be all in the past. Let's not weigh down our memories with sadness. Don't think about that. Let's have a happy ending. That's what he wants to say. Gonzalo, I have inly wept. Okay, inly wept inside, cried myself, or should have spoke before this. He said, I have just been crying to myself, or else I would have said something before. I couldn't say anything before because I was weeping from inside. I was going on crying all by myself. Why couldn't he state anything? Why didn't Gonzalo react anything before? If that is asked, you will say because he was crying inwardly. Okay, continue. Look down, you gods, on this couple. Drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither. He goes on saying, look down, you God. He goes for the blessings, means, dear gods, look down from the sky and place a blessed crown on this couple, since it was you who led us on the path that brought us here. He asked for more enlightenment. He asked for more blessings for this couple. And Alonso says, I say Amen, Gonzalo. He says, I just want that too, and Amen. May your prayers be answered. Then Gonzalo continues. Was Milan thrust from Milan? Very, very important dialogue. Just mark the whole thing. Was Milan thrust from Milan that his issue should become kings of Naples? Means, was the Duke of Milan, what does he mean? He says, was the Duke of Milan thrown out of Milan so that his descendants could become king of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find at Tunis. Oh, we should celebrate this extraordinary joy, Gonzalo means by these lines, and commemorate means celebrate it in golden letters, etching them into columns that will last forever. In just one journey, Claribel found a husband in Tunis. And then in that very journey, and Ferdinand, continue with the lines, and Ferdinand, her brother, found a wife where he himself was lost, Prospero his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own. He says, Ferdinand, her brother, found a wife in the place where he was shipwrecked, and Prospero found his dukedom on a deserted island, and all of us found ourselves when we could not control our minds. Gonzalo gives a synopsis to what happened in a very, very insightful, in an analytical way. He says, was the Duke of Milan thrown out of Milan? Means he is referring to Prospero and saying, was he thrown out of the Milan so that his descendants means his children or grandchildren becomes the king of Naples? Could become the king of Naples? Is it like that? Because since they are going to get married, so the children would become king or prince or princess of Naples, isn't it? And then he said, we should celebrate this occasion, because it was and should be written in golden, etched in golden letters, written in golden, documented in golden letters. In one journey, Claribel found a husband. In the same journey, Ferdinand, Claribel's brother, found a wife in a place where he was shipwrecked, and Prospero found his dukedom back, and all of us found our senses and each other back after coming together. Okay, let's continue. Ferdinand to Miranda and Ferdinand. Alonso says this to Miranda and Ferdinand. Give me your hands, let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart that does not wish you joy. He says, give me your hand. Give me your hands. May grief and sorrow always grip the heart of anyone who does not wish you joy. He was blessing them actually. Gonzalo goes on, be it so, let it be so. Amen. Ariel enters with master boatsman following behind, amazed. Remember, Ariel was given a task of bringing the boatsman. We did this in the earlier class, and the boatsman and the sailors, whoever was there on the ship, they were all there. Okay. And Gonzalo, oh look sir, look, here is more of us. I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow would not drown. What does he mean by this? He said, you remember in the first scene, Gonzalo had predicted about the boatswain, and that he would not die, he would not die out of drowning. He would be sentenced to death. He would be hanged to death. Okay, and then looking at Gonzalo, he says, remember I had prophesied he would not die out of drowning. He's still here. Look at him. He says, oh look sir, more of us here. I predicted that so long that there were gallows for a man. He would be hanged instead, and he would never drown. And then to the boatsman he addresses and says, now blasphemy that swears grace overboard, not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news? He asks the boatswain. Hey, you offensive man. Why offensive? Why does he address to be offensive man? Because he was very rude in the very first scene, if you remember. Gonzalo says, Hey, you offensive man who swore so much it was as if you threw God overboard. Aren't you going to swear now that you are on land? What news do you have? That is how Gonzalo addresses the boatswain, who had, regarding whom Gonzalo had already predicted that he would die, he would be punished and hanged, and he would never be dying by drowning, And then he says, You offensive man, since you swore a lot when we had come to seek your help, now won't you be swearing when there is no tempest and when there is land all over? Now just tell me, do you have any news? That's what Gonzalo asks. Let's continue. The boatswain answers, The best news is that we have safely found our king and company, and the next our ship. The boatswain answers to the question that Gonzalo has posed. He says, The best news is that we have found our king and his men alive. That is the first information. The second, the next best news is that our ship, what does he say about the ship? Which but 3 glasses since we gave out split is tightened, air and bravely rigged as when we first put on to sea. He talks about the ship and says, the ship which we thought had split in half just 3 hours ago, 3 glasses since 3 hours ago, is well constructed, is tight and air, means it's well constructed. Bravely rigged means it is now ready for sail, and it is fully supplied, means all equipped, it's fully supplied and equipped as it was when we were first set sail, These are the 3 pieces of information, or rather 2 pieces of information that boatswain gives Gonzalo, okay, and everybody there. Ariel says, aside to Prospero, sir, all this service have I done since I went. He boasts, he says, I have done all the service that he is mentioning. And Prospero answers, my tricksy spirit, means you are my ingenuous spirit. You are really worth praise. Then Alonso carries on. These are not natural events, and they strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came you hither? What does this mean? Alonso is quite now confused. Alonso is estranged. He is amazed at series of things happening which looks very unnatural. And he says, these events are not natural. They keep getting stranger and stranger. And then he asks the boatswain, tell me, how did you get hither? He is very inquisitive. He is taken aback by the series of strange things that is happening. And hence, he poses the question. He thinks these cannot be natural, something unnatural, something very supernatural happening here. The boatsman answers Alonso's question of how he arrived in that island, and he is totally in a trance. He is totally in a confused state as to how did he reach there. He says, if I did think, sir, I were well awake, I would strive to tell you. If I thought that I was actually awake, I would actually have told you how I reached here. We were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches, were but even now with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains. He says, we were fast asleep, and we don't know how we were below decks when we heard all these different noises, roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling chains, and more. He continues and says, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible. We were awaked straight away at liberty, okay, where we in all her trim freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship. And suddenly what happened? The meaning of these lines, all of these noises were so horrible that they woke us up, and immediately we saw that we were free, and we saw our courageous ship as well. Everything was right in front of us. Then he continues, our master capering to I here on a trice so please you, even in a dream where we divided from them and we were brought moping hither. He says the master danced with joy when he saw it. Master means the master of the ship. An instant later, as if in a dream, we were separated from the others and brought here in a daze. Daze means trance. We were all in a trance when we came here. Okay, we were subconscious, not unconscious, but not fully conscious. Subconscious is daze. Ariel, was it well done? Ariel was, he just wants his master to say, that pat at the back and say, have I done well? Was the job well done? Prospero answered, bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free. He said, magnificently done, my hard-working spirit, you will get your freedom. Then Alonso continues, this is a strange, a maze as ever men trod, and there is in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify your knowledge. Alonso is still in that maze. He says, how is this happening? How strange. This is strange an experience as men have ever had, and it's clear that there is more than to what happened than natural causes. It cannot be natural, he says. Some magical spell or something more than natural. We need some priest or prophet to explain what happened. Okay. You can also pose a question in the boatsman. How did the boatsman dialogue? How did boatsmen presume that they reached in Prospero's cell, how they gained freedom from that tempest? Okay, what was his assumption? Okay, continue please. Prospero's dialogue, sir, my liege. This is again an important dialogue. Please make it as important and write. Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. He says, sir, by king, don't waste your time obsessing about the strangeness of what happened. Obsessing means don't keep wondering about what happened, how strange things are. Don't keep wondering about the strangeness of the things that happened. Continue. At picked leisure, which shall be shortly, single I'll resolve you, which to you shall be seem probable of every these happened incidents. He says, at the right time, this means which will be very soon, I myself will explain, and it will be an explanation that you will think is reasonable about everything that occurred. Okay. Of all the incidents that are occurring, I'll give you explanation very shortly. Okay. Continue. Till then be cheerful and think of each thing well. Till then be happy and think of each other well. Means don't get confused. Come hither, he tells Ariel. Come hither, spirit, set Caliban and his companions free, untie the spell. He says, go and set Caliban and his companions free, and please undo the spell that binds them. Okay, untie the spell means just take away the spell. Okay. Here the question should be, how does Prospero console Alonso's inquisitiveness or queries about everything being very strange. Okay. Prospero continues and tells Ariel to bring Caliban and his companions and take them out of the spell. Remember, they were stealing the garments, gaudy flashy garments, and then they were stuck in the lime grove and they were under a spell. Ariel exits. Prospero, how fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not. How are you making, sir? How are you, my king? Then he goes on talking to them. There are few men who were on your ship that are still missing. A few odd boys that you don't remember. He says there are a few more missing. Who are these odd boys? Stefano, Trinculo, isn't it? Still missing. Ariel enters and pushing in Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo wearing their stolen clothes. Stefano, every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully, monster, coraggio. What does Stefano means? He says every man help everyone else and don't look out only for yourself, because everything that happens is just a product of blind luck. Courage, you noble monster, courage. Okay. Stephano enters by telling these dialogues. If these be true spies which I swear in my head, here is a goodly sight. If I can trust my eyes, what does he mean by this? This is a beautiful sight. True spies means what I see through my eyes is true, then this is a beautiful sight. What is the beautiful sight right there? The amalgamation of people standing there, all known people. Okay, Stephano is still trying to defend. He thinks he is under a trap and he's trying to defend. I have to have courage. I have to kill. I have to kill. And that's how he's bringing that courage in himself, giving those dialogues. But Trinculo is quite happy seeing everybody there. Caliban, oh, Setebus, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I'm afraid he will chastise me. Caliban, on the other hand, he knows he has been caught. He is under the presumption that he has been caught and now he will be punished. He says, oh, Setebus. Setebus is again the god. Their worship, the witches and wizards worship her. Okay? Oh, Setebus. I'll give you the annotation, allusion of Setebus later. Oh, Setebus, these are really beautiful spirits. How amazing my master is. I'm afraid he will punish me. Sebastian, ha ha ha. What things are these, my lord Antonio? Will money buy them? Sebastian looks at them and says he cannot believe about the presence of all those, that is Alonso and his group, Prospero and the boatswain and the whole team. He cannot believe. He says, haha, what are these things? He still cannot believe he cannot differentiate between illusion and, about illusion and reality. He is still stuck under that spell. The gaudy garments was an illusion. Everything that he came across was an illusion. The sound, the music, everything. And he says, are these actually that? Okay, and he says, haha, what are these things here that we are seeing, my lord Antonio? Can you buy them with money? And then Sebastian, as cruel that he is, he says, these creatures here, are they real? This Caliban and then and Trinculo and Sebastian, can we buy them with money? Can we buy them? Very like one of them is a plain fish and no doubt marketable. See, Antonio speaks for the first and last time in the whole scene, and even then when he speaks, he does not think about remorse. He thinks about money. He says this fish, means he refers to Caliban. He says he can be taken to the market and he can be a reason for earning money. Certainly, he says one of them looks like a fish and must therefore be marketable, means we can earn money with him, from him. Antonio, remember, he's speaking there and he speaks with no remorse at all. He still thinks about himself and how he can make money. The selfishness is still marked here. Okay. Prospero continues, and I presume this would be the last big dialogue. He says, mark but the badges of these men, my lords, then say if they be true. He says, look at the badges they wear, indicating for whom they work, and then tell me if they are honest. And see the badges that they were wearing, the gown that they were wearing actually had an emblem of the empire that they belonged to. Then indicates Caliban. And he says, this misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one was so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. He says, this ugly monster, pointing to Caliban, had a mother who was a witch so powerful that he could control the moon and the tides. Ebbs and flows, who could control moon and the tides. He could even deal her command with, means he had such command over her power. Okay, continue. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he is a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. He says they have stolen from me. What is those gaudy flashy garments? And this half-devil, only half-devil because he is a bastard, plotted with him to kill me. Okay, two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine. He says, you must recognize two of these men, accept responsibility for them, accept responsibility. I admit that this dark monster is mine, means this Caliban is mine, but these two you know. Just please try to identify. Caliban, I shall be pinched to death. Caliban is very worried. He has been caught and he says he's going to torture me. Alonso, is not this Stephano my drunken butler? Isn't not Stephano my drunken butler? He is drunk now. Where had he wine? And he says, he's still drunk. Sebastian says, where did he get wine? Where did he get that wine? Alonso says, and Trinculo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that had gilded them? And Trinculo is so drunk that he's still staggering. Ripe means staggering here and there. He's just out of control. Where did they find that powerful liquor that made them so drunk? How camest thou in this pickle? And then he talks to Trinculo and says, how did you get so drunk? I mean, pickle here, get so drunk. Trinculo answers, I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last. I fear me I'll never be out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing. He says, I have been drunk since I last saw you, that I fear I'll never get the alcohol out of my bones. But at last I won't have to fear rotting, since the alcohol will keep me so well preserved. This is a kind of sense of humor that is coming across in such situations, He's still in the trance of liquor. Sebastian, why, how now, Stephano? Well, how are you, Stephano? Sebastian asks. Stephano says, oh, touch me not. I am not Stephano, but a cramp. He says, oh, don't touch me. I am not Stephano. I am just a cramp on two legs. His pain was so dominating. He says, I am not Stephano. These cramps on my two legs. Okay, Prospero, you would be a king of the isle, Sirrah. You wanted to be the king of the island, sir. To Stephano, he says, you wanted to be the king of the island. Stephano, I should have been a sore on them. He says, I would have been a dreadful king then.